In today's video, we're going to be talking about quality time and finances.
Welcome to our YouTube channel. We are Marcus and Ash Kusi from ourpeacefulfamily.com, where we help married couples to become better husbands and wives. In this video, we're going to answer a reader question that we received on our website.
Yep, and it's actually two questions in one. My biggest struggle is getting my husband to spend time with me. He's constantly on his phone, running errands for other people, or doing something outside. I also need him to help more financially. This, I think, is such a common problem nowadays, like having a spouse be on the phone, like we deal with it.
Yeah, we are almost, I wouldn't say all the time, but we are on our phones a lot because we use our phone to talk, do a lot of things that are business related also. So we are mostly on our phones. But in terms of the impact it has on our marriage, I would say it doesn't have a negative impact on our relationship because
We just had an argument the other day. You were like, every time I try to talk to you, you pick up your phone.
Yes.
And that was it's a habit of mine.
Yes.
If I were starting to have a conversation and I feel like we're starting to argue, which he doesn't think is arguing, then I'll pick up my phone and check out, and I don't even realize I'm doing it. Like, I have no idea that I'm doing it until he's like, "What are you doing on your phone?" I'm like, "Oh, whoops." So that was really irritating to him. So we get it.
Yeah. But I would say, like, just to add to what you're saying, it's not being to the point whereby it's like being detrimental to our relationship. It's hard
because you told me it was a problem, and I'm changing it.
Yeah. So so back to the question. As you can see, we also deal with it also, but depending on how you deal with it as a couple will determine whether it will impact your relationship negatively or in a positive. Like when I'm saying positive, like you guys can use that as a way to improve things and get better at how you're communicating with each other, so you're not picking up your phone all the time. Negatively will be that, you know, one spouse doesn't care about it and then you guys are just using your phones and not communicating.
Yeah, but from her note, she's saying, really, she wants more quality time from her husband.
Yeah.
And it seems like he's out busy doing things for everybody else but her. And when I read this question, the first thing that popped in my mind was, what's his love language? It sounds like if he's out doing things for other people, that maybe acts of service is his love language. And can you think of anything around the house or for you that he's doing that isn't quality time, which sounds like that might be your love language, but he's expressing his love in another way?
Yeah.
So I would first just take a look at that. It doesn't solve your problem, but it might make you give you a little more appreciation for what he is doing to show you love.
Yeah.
I think it's good to start with gratitude.
Yeah. And just to add that, like, Ashley, we have something similar to the love languages. Mine is more acts of service. Ashley is more of quality time and physical attention.
Yeah.
So that it could be one dynamic you can look at it from. The other angle that I was saying you should look at it from also is that outside of him doing things for other people, do you feel like you're a priority in your marriage? Does he put you first? Think about that. If he doesn't put you first, ask yourself why, and then talk with him about that so that you can be the first priority for him, because you're married together, you are a team, and if your teammate is not prioritizing your needs, then there's no way that this team is going to function and be able to win successfully. So I recommend you have a conversation with him and then see where he puts things. So if the love language is not an issue, then it could be that he's prioritizing other things before you, and then you can have a discussion about it and then talk about it and then decide whether you are okay with him prioritizing other things before you. If you're not okay with that, then you have to let him know that, look, this is not something that I want to be able to continue doing. I want to be a priority for you. I want our marriage to be a priority. So what can we do together as a couple to make our marriage a priority and to make our relationship a priority so we don't suffer as a couple?
Yep. And I know we bring this up usually in like every video, but use I statements. I know you're not doing this to make me feel this way, but when you go do all this stuff for everybody else and we don't get quality time, it makes me feel like I'm not a priority. And just, it helps reframe the question so that it isn't hopefully trigger his just defense, and that hopefully he'll be more open to listening to what you have to say. We have dealt with something similar, like Marcus said, like he's more active service and I'm like quality time. So he'll be doing the dishes and cleaning and taking care of the kids, and I'll be like, how come you never spend time with me?
Yeah.
And so it took a lot of conversations, and it's still ongoing. And one way we do checkups where we rate on a scale of 1 to 10. How are you feeling with our emotional connection, with our physical connection, with our intellectual connection, with our sex life? Like, we go through it all. And if there's anywhere that's lacking, we're like, well, what could we do to make it better? And so quality time has been one of those things for us. So what we've done is we've carved out, even when we were like super, super busy and Marcus was working and going to school and I was home with our baby at the time, we still made time every single day to have a conversation. And sometimes it was only 10 minutes because of the schedules. But when we could have more time together, we did. And so now we have at least 2 hours together every evening after the girls go to bed, which is kind of what we're doing now.
Yeah.
But it's just, you have to find out what works for you, and you might need to change it up as your relationship progresses and changes, and your needs might be different. Like, oh, you're doing this really great now, but can you add in this? Or we don't have to do this time. Let's try something else. Again, it all comes back to communication for us.
The other thing I'll add is that put this on your schedule. If it's not already on your schedule to spend time together, it could be 30 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. Just put on your schedule so you guys know that you have this time on X day that you're going to spend together as a couple and talk without the kids' presence or without having other distractions present. And then, depending on your love languages, there could be other things that you could be doing. So if your love language is acts of service, then, you could do the dishes or clean the house for your spouse. If it's physical connection, you could be giving hugs throughout the day, could be cuddling, kissing, and do those. And those will help you guys to be able to spend time together versus, being on your phone all the time and that causing issues with your marriage. Do you have anything to add before we address the second part?
I would say, like what you were talking about, scheduling time, it should be every day. If you miss a day once in a while, like that's okay. But try to do it every day, because date night once a week isn't going to cut it. And then the other thing I would say is maybe if you took it upon yourself to schedule a fun date for the two of you. And that could be your quality time. You're taking control of it and you're saying, hey, this is what I'd love to do. Or you give him some choices. Like, I really want to spend time with you on a fun date. What date works for you? Let's schedule it down. And if you want to involve him in the choice, like maybe you pick out the fun date this time and he picks it out next time, or you give him a choice, like we could do this or that today. But that really might take some of the pressure off him and help include you into making this work.
Yeah, again, a win-win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The second part of this question was that you needed him to help more financially.
That is a difficult question to answer because we don't know your financial situation. So I would recommend that you talk with your husband and then let him know what your concerns are and move from there. If you guys are not combining your finances, then, you can talk about, okay, I'm spending more here and I think it's not fair. Because with the money situation, it's going to come down to fairness if you guys have separate bank accounts. But if you're working together as a team, which for me, I don't think it's in here, it shows here explicitly that you're working as a team. I think just having the conversation is going to help you a lot to be able to address that.
I think the most helpful thing for me would be, like, when it came to finances, was when we did a budget together. It just put everything out there. We could both see what's coming in and what's going out and what we have left over, or if there was anything left over. And then we could both be on the same page with money. And then we also talked about the why. Like, this is what our goal is. And it gave me something to look forward to. So when I had to put in some certain sacrifices where it was budget cuts or extra work or whatever, like, it gave me that motivation. But I think first, if you just sit down and you have a conversation, you're like, hey, I'd really love to talk about finances and money right now. And then you go over it and you're like, okay, this is where we're at. What do you think we can do to bring in more income? and then you're coming together to brainstorm ideas. Be like, well, I'd really love it is there any way that you could help bring in more income? And then so we can do XYZ.
Like I said in the beginning, this question is a little vague because it could be like you need help financially because you are feeling the burden of managing the finances. It's just too much burden for you, because I know for some people, handling money or taking care of money is not their skill set. They just don't want to do anything related to money. So if that is the burden, again, it comes down to talking to your spouse and then trying to let them know, this is the issue I'm facing, this is the problem I have, how can we come together as a couple and solve that problem so we can move forward and strengthen our marriage or relationship. So I think talking will be the best way to get this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a blog post on budgeting, right?
Yeah, we have blog posts about how to talk to your spouse about money. I'll link to that in the description below this video, so you can go read that article, and that'll give you a lot of ideas and ways to talk to your spouse so it doesn't end up with you guys fighting or having an unproductive conversation about money. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can get updates about new videos that we put out.